Okay. All right, so it looks like it's recording now. So yeah, just like I said, my name is Corbin Tenney. My daughter's Claire Tenney. We're excited to be part of the team, and James is a great coach, and Amy and her team over at the Booster Club board are awesome, and we appreciate all the work and support that they do to help our girls. And it's a lot of work. I know, because I've been, like I mentioned before, I was on the Booster Club board with football for quite a few years. My son Cass was on the team, and so we worked really closely with Justin Riggs and with Coach Farrell and so forth. So I got a pretty good understanding and an understanding of how the process works. And so one of the things that when we had that meeting a couple months back, they asked about the corporate sponsorships. That really is where I kind of was really something I was really excited about. And so they've asked me to kind of help with this. And one of the nice things about it is I actually own a company that works with booster clubs. And so this is one of the nice things. I have access to all the fun stuff that most teams don't have access to. And I'm really excited to be able to really put a lot of effort and time into Highland Cheer, because really what my goal is to reduce our costs as parents. And how we do that is through corporate sponsorships. So I'm going to go ahead and move into the next slide here. Okay, so as part of this, I'm the committee chair for the sponsorship committee. I work directly with Amy and her team to kind of help look at ways to be able to improve the overall sponsorship opportunities and things that come along with that. And as part of that, I would love to have some help in this as part of this committee. So if you have any type of an interest in being part of this, I'd love to talk to you, look at some ways that we can work together to kind of help reduce all of our costs as it reflects to our Hawks Cheer fees, so they come along with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of really quickly share with you what we noticed, or what I noticed while I was at the Hawks, part of the Hawks football team, the Hawks Booster Club. We noticed that majority of our sponsorships, our corporate sponsorships, came from player parents. That was pretty common. There are very few companies that didn't have one of their kids on the program, and that were part of our corporate sponsors. And of course, as part of that, when the player leaves, so does that sponsorship. So that's where we wanted to kind of figure out why that was. Were they getting enough value of what we were offering as a corporate sponsorship opportunity, and or if what they would like. So our goal was to try to refocus and change things up a little bit to make sure that we can show them some value, make sure that they understood exactly where their money was going, and that it was not just the VIP seats, as most of us do the sponsoring for, to get those VIP seats, but it's to be able to go towards a program that does cost quite a bit. And unfortunately, that's one of those problems is that we have with cheer. It is the most expensive sport in the school, and of course, who's paying that is pretty much us. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at and say, hey, how can we be able to help connect the corporate companies that are around us and show some real value so that they can see some value out of this and be willing to sponsor. So what I did is I put together a whole entire network of booster clubs throughout the whole entire state of Arizona. We work with probably about 20 schools and about 200 to 300 different booster clubs. And what we do with this network is we connect them all as part of a way to really market our sponsors. So it's not just a banner on a field or an ad in a program. It's the full-on, everybody throughout the state is all included in this whole process of marketing. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, hey, companies, there's actually real value in sponsoring our team, because not only are we going to get you a banner out on the field, but we're going to also get you onto our website. We're going to actually get in front of 1.5 million people through that go to football games throughout the state, every Friday night. And the cost for that is quite a bit less than even when you look at, going to sponsoring an NFL game that only gets 65,000 people to a game. So what I did is we created a website for the Highland Hawks Cheer program, And the website is highlandcheer.com. Okay, so we're going to actually go through the website so you can see how this works. But we also are now part of the Booster Club network. And what that means is that as a team, we are part of this network. We now have access to all these different social media groups. We have access to proactive members of these groups to get the word out and spread the word. It also allows us to be able to attract potential sponsors that are not in our area, okay, not associated with some of our parents and so forth. So what I'd like for you guys to do, and this is one of your tasks for today or tonight, is to make sure you go to Booster Club Net on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Now, you'll notice that Twitter, I don't do anything on. Unfortunately, Twitter is something that's just gone out of, not even Highland Cheer do we do anything on Twitter. So I have it there just to cover the base. But really, where we do most of our work is on Instagram. And Highland actually has a really good following. Highland Hawks Cheer has a really good following. I did some number crunching, and we have about 50 to 60 girls in the program, but about 2,500 followers. It means we got about 50 followers per girl. With football, there were about 300 to 400 kids on the program, and they only have 2,500 followers too. So that's only 5 per person. So we really have a lot of influence, and it's not something that's been proactively used or as a channel for a lot of our sponsors. So we're going to really put some time and effort into making that as part of one of our channels that we do some of the marketing for. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll go to that, and really what we're finding is most of what the sponsors want are brand recognition, brand loyalty. They want to have views, they want to have visits to their websites. They want to be able to be at the front of the mind of their potential clients, because we are now loyal to that company. I know I've had some plumbing work done at our house, and the first person I called was one of our sponsors that had sponsored our program for football. And that's where a lot of that loyalty comes. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is to build out that loyalty and brand recognition. And these companies, even if they don't have kids on the program, are wanting this type of thing. And it's an untapped market for a lot of these companies. Okay. So how we work is we do both. In this case here, what we're going to be doing with Highland Hawks Cheer is we're going to be creating a full-on social media campaign where we include the Booster Club network, but we also include all of you and the Highland Hawks Cheer social media campaigns. We're going to do a lot of that as a way to be able to get the word out for our sponsors. The bigger the network, the more proactive and interactive our network is, the more likely we're going to attract quite a few potential sponsors and bigger sponsors. Those are really the most important things. So let me real quick, I'm going to make sure that I'm in and make sure everybody's getting here in as part of this. Looks like they are. Okay, good. So the other thing is we're going to be doing website recognition. So we've created the website, and I'll go through that real quickly for you. And then what we're going to also do, the nice thing about me controlling the live stream, I'm going to be doing the live stream for football, but I also I control that now. So I can be able to put ads on the football live stream. And this would be for Cheer, and Cheer would get the recognition and the sponsorship for that. Okay, that's one of the nice things about this. And that means that we can also move that into basketball. So it's not only strictly for football season, but we can move that into the basketball season too. So we can get extra potential advertisements that go on the live stream. And we do that through Huddle. Of course, we still have the banners and programs, and then the event and merchandise. So those are opportunities for us we're going to help to kind of build out some cool events, some fun activities for the girls to go to, some fun things to be able to have our fans and our parents go to help fundraise. And so we'll put a lot of effort and time into that, because I think those are some really good ways for us to work through that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this out here. Okay, and I'm going to jump into our Highland Cheer website. Okay, so this is our Highland Cheer website, highlandcheer.com. Okay, we have got quite a few things as part of this, but as you'll notice, there's going to be a few things we're still editing, because we're not into season yet. Number one, we can't tell who's on which team, so we really can't list out players. We can't put any real information on here until we have the teams, and then we also don't have calendar events done yet because that's all coming. But really, what we can do is we could be able to put where we're going to be doing some of our skill training, the need to know information, and this is what we work with Coach on. We're going to talk about state and national competitions, and then we can learn a little bit more about the Booster Club organization as it says. This is a Booster Club website. Okay, it's not a team website, it's not a school website. It's a Booster Club website, but it's a way for them to be able to get information out to the team and to the parents. Okay, so we're going to go back to homepage here, and you'll see here again, like I said, there's going to be some updates here. So we got a lot of TBAs, but we go through and talk a little about the Hawks, some of the success that comes along with this as part of our program. What we do as part of our growth programs and how our coaches work. We have information on our coaches here, okay? And then we talk about community involvement. This is where we'd love to have you guys come in and volunteer to be part of the committee. And there's going to be quite a few different opportunities for committees. Okay, we've got sponsorship, we have social media, which is going to be really important. Meal prep, game and event prep. There's a lot of different things we can do. So we'd ask you guys, if you would, please go to the website and sign up for a committee. And what we'll do is once this goes through that system, the board will get that information and they'll reach out to you on how to be able to get involved with these committees. Okay. The information about the Booster Club is going to be on the About page. This really is where we wanted to go into the process and how the sponsorships work. Okay. We really want to be able to make sure that they know that there are some important things that we can do, or some really cool things that we can do as part of this. Okay, so let me show you real quick what we're going to be offering to sponsors. Okay, so this right here is kind of our landing page, and it talks a little about what we're offering as part of our program for these sponsors to kind of help them to reach out to our network and to the Booster Club network. Okay, and so we've got some cool images here. We talk a little about VIP seatings, the game tickets. We talk about social media recognition and other types of stuff. And then we also talk a little bit about a digital game day package, which we'll use that for the live stream and also for some of the social media that we do. Now, you guys have seen previously the paperwork that you received as part of the sponsorships in the last meeting. We've changed it up a little bit and added some additional things that I think is going to be really beneficial for businesses. Not just for the free tickets and the advertisement on the program. What we've done is we said, all right, let's look at and see what the companies really want. What are they going to look for here? Family sponsors, they're really what they're out there for is the VIP seats. That's pretty much where a lot of us, when they do the family sponsorships, we just want some pretty good seating. Now the companies, they want a little bit more than that. They want more than just the seats and so forth. So what we added is we added a little bit of a cost to the corporate sponsorship, but we added a lot more to it, a lot more value for the money that's being added as part of this. Number one, the program gets all this money. And second of all, it gives them an opportunity to get a little bit more marketing for it. So as a corporate, you get 2 tickets to the games, okay? You get sponsorship recognition on the team's social media website, so our social media page, okay? The business name listed in the stadium, okay? And then a hyperlink logo on the website, okay? What that looks like is something like this. Okay, this would be something like this down here. Where's that? Okay, right here. So like in this case here with Paul Kelly, this is a link directly to his website. Okay, so that's one thing that we're going to offer for part of the corporate. For the corporate elite, you get 4 tickets and VIP seating. Okay, so in this case here, 2 tickets, 2 VIP seats, 4 tickets, 4 VIP seats. Okay. You get a sponsorship recognition on the team social media. So what we're going to be doing is doing social media. We're going to be putting you into some pretty cool social media posts. And then you're going to get a full 3x5 sideline banner. Okay. And this will be something that we will put either on the fence or if we get, I don't know if I can talk Justin into it, we might be able to get out onto the track. Okay, we're going to work on that. And then the last thing is the next two things are a hyperlink on the website, so similar to what you just saw there, and then a half-page ad in the program. Okay, now the programs are really good. It's a nice way to be able to see your logo, but really what we're seeing the most value is going to be is in this social media recognition, because these are fun. But I'll be honest with you, coming from the football world, we didn't sell a lot of these programs. So there are some value in doing that because it's something you can keep. But really what we're going to try to do is put a lot of effort into this social media side and the hyperlink on the website, okay? And then we're going to do what we call a corporate teal. And what the corporate teal is this is kind of our higher end, it was the highest end sponsorship that we offered for some of the companies that had a little bit more of a budget and really wanted to get out. But this case here, what we did is we added some additional values to it. So you still get your 4 tickets with your VIP seats. You get sponsor recognition on the team social media. Okay, now this way this works is we're going to do this on a multiple basis. We're going to be doing it on a regular basis and having that logo go out with both on posts, but also in reels. Okay, and how this reels is going to be professionally done videos that we're going to put out there, and then we're going to add the sideline banner, the hyperlink on the website. In this case here, what we're now doing is not only to the Hawks website, but now you're going to the Booster Club network, which goes to about it spreads throughout the whole entire state. Okay, that's why we've added just a little bit to that. This case here is you're not only going to have just the Highland people, but you're going to have everybody throughout the Gilbert Unified School District. It's going to be on Tucson, Prescott, Yuma, and Flagstaff, and then we just pretty much run that. And they're all part of the network. Their job is to get that out to everybody. So it expands by quite a bit just by making this social media post. Okay, and then of course you get a full page in the program. Now this right here, this is where some of our larger businesses that have a little bit more of a budget are needing a good marketing opportunities to build the brand recognition and brand loyalty. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is the professionally produced social media reels that we're going to be doing for this are pretty intense and pretty great. And if you've seen some of the hype videos, they're very similar to that. We actually have a videographer that comes out and goes to your business and uses the drones and does all sorts of really cool stuff with this. But they do a full-on social media, what we call a digital game day package, kind of like the elite digital game day package. And then it also gives out shout outs. This part of this also goes on to the live stream. So when we have a halftime, those things are going out into the live stream and so forth. So we're asking for quite a bit more for this, but that would be something that I think if you have a business that has marketing funds, this is perfect for them because it does build the loyalty and it does build that brand recognition. Okay, the way that you want to access that is just click on Word I'm in. I grew up in the 80s, so Word Up was my favorite saying. But here's where you're able to get the information. Okay, we still post it here, get the information for on each individual tier, but then also we put it here. So you've got $250 family sponsor, you have the family deluxe, you have the corporate elite, corporate teal, and then the Hawks elite. Okay, and they can just pick that, they add it to the cart, and they can run it through that. That then notifies us to start creating all the content and things that go along with it. And then what we'll do is we work with that company to schedule when these posts go out, and we do all this really cool stuff as part of that. Okay, so that is in a nutshell what we're planning on offering. I know it's a little bit different from what we'd offered previously, but as you notice, we've opened up a lot of different channels. And what we found is that when we open those channels, we also open up a lot of opportunities for sponsors that we've never worked with. And these are bigger sponsors like Raising Cane's. We're working with, companies like Coca-Cola. I mean, there's quite a few bigger companies that are starting to be attracted to this idea. So we have more opportunities to get some of those bigger sponsors too, thus reducing our cost as parents in the program. So what I'd like to do, I know there's going to be quite a few questions, So if you could, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if there's any questions, anything that I can be able to help with this, I'd love to answer those. And then, of course, I'll give you my contact information afterwards to reach out to me if there's any questions. But are there any questions, any concerns, any thoughts that anybody wants to bring up right now?
Hey, Corbett.
Yeah. Go ahead, Juliet, go ahead.
Yeah, so last year, I think it was Jeff, she had kind of written a script out for the girls to send out for sponsors, which was really helpful because then they just copied that script and they sent it to people, and then they answered us, they wanted more information, and then there was this another link that said, this is what this is what your money's getting you, and the banner and all that. So I mean, me personally, and I'm sorry because this is awesome, but I've kind of been running in and out, so I'm sure stuff, but I just kind of want to know the easiest way for my daughter to reach out, and then the easiest way for them to see what they're, and not have them be overwhelmed with tons of, like, the easiest way for them to just see, oh, okay, what covers this and this. Sure, I'd like to.
Yeah. Perfect. So that's a great question. So what we're going to do in this case here, we're going to create a script for them to be able to send out. Probably an email would be the best way to do it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create one of these reels. We're going to create one of the video reels that they can be able to post out and say, hey, check it out. This is what we're going to be doing. Because like there's some things that we're going to be doing here, some fun social media posts where we're going to be saying, hey, we'd love to have your logo here. We're going to be posting this out. We're going to use, in this case here, maybe, what we've thought about doing is like a movie theme. And so we're going to create movie posters, and we say we'd love to have your logo on this.
Okay, is there a way that they can have a script too? I mean, we can create one and work on that. It was just so convenient to have one that they could text, because emailing the people that we know, I don't even know their email. I'm trying to think of the easiest way. And I'm sure whatever script that is created, we can just use that as a text, but I'm just trying to think the easiest.
Yeah, the easiest way I think is going to be, we'll send you the script for an email. And what we'll do is we'll create a video reel that we'll send out, that you guys can send out on your social media posts and so forth. That kind of gives, it kind of explains exactly what we're going to be doing. We won't go over pricing with it because we want to get them excited about, hey, this is quite cool. We got a lot of really cool things that we're doing. So we want to be able to have some fun stuff like this, and we'd love to have your logo down here with this type of social media content that we're going to be creating.
Okay, so I'm just kids, the girls to be yelling reels and then kind of with them and getting prices.
Yeah, and you're breaking up a little bit, but what I get from it, yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to create a script for them to be able to email out. Okay, it'll be pretty much just something they can copy and paste, and then we'll create the reel. And then if they have questions, what we'll do is we'll create a landing page, and the landing page is, hey, just go here. There's right now we already have that landing page. They can just go there and get more information on it. But really what we're trying to do is just get them engaged. So these girls all have a lot of social media followers. And those that do, the girls are the most proactive, and they're the ones that are more of the influencers than even than the football players are, for sure. So in this case here, they can say, hey, we're doing something fun. We'd love to have your company involved in this. We're gonna do fun stuff like, we'll actually take industry specific type themes, and we'll come out and film the girls, and they're going to be involved in it, and our video reels are going to be around that industry, and we're going to say, hey, we'd love to have a sponsor for this, and just kind of give them some ideas for it. So it's going to be year round. Now we're going to really try to push the beginning of the season to get as much money in as we can, but you're going to see as we start going through this and we start putting out some good content, you're going to get companies coming to you down the road that are going to say, hey, we want to do the same thing. That makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, so an email, as well as they can post on social media some skills and different things like that, hoping that maybe we'll reach out to them as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions?
So, Corbin,
Yeah.
I sponsor with football, and the with football the player actually gets credit, and I have even more incentive to just pay more because I don't have to pay some of the football fees and a sponsorship. You know what I mean? Are we doing that same thing, or is that going to be different?
Yeah, and it's when it comes out to now, I'll have Amy kind of explain a little bit more how the recognition goes towards. Now, it doesn't go towards the balance; it's the recognition of you have the girls have a stewardship of getting some sponsors. So, Amy, can you jump in real quick and just kind of explain how those sponsorships work? We want to make sure that the parent, the player, excuse me, the cheerleader, and the athlete gets credit for it, as in like personal credit, not financial credit, but recognition for this. But Amy, will you explain a little bit about how that works?
Our athletes are, they required, I don't know what the technical word would be. They asked to bring a house.
Sorry, Amy, you're breaking up. But yeah, what I'm getting from that, yeah, there's with the 501c3, the corporate sponsorships cannot go directly to a balance of one of the girls, but each one of them we keep track of, and we'll keep track of what those sponsorships are going to. Now, when it comes down to the dues and so forth, that's what we'll work with with Amy and her board to kind of identify. Hey, we've got this number of sponsorships coming in. How will that reflect on the monthly dues, or where do we put those funds? Because that's going to be important to identify where those are going to go. So we'll make sure that everybody, the treasurer, everybody that's involved in this we're letting you know where that's going. But Amy, am I correct in saying so? You're on mute.
Is it better if I'm not on speaker?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay, see if this doesn't echo so much. Because we are a 501(c), the funds in have to be spread equally amongst all the athletes. It's actually against the law for it to go to one athlete. So I'm not sure what football's doing. But as a 501c3, that's actually against the law. So we have to have everyone bring in their sponsorship funds and divide it amongst every athlete. Yeah. So that's why we're asking that each and at least $1,000, but that's not going to cover the cost. We're still going to be left with funds due if we only bring in 1,000 each. So we're really hoping that everyone can bring in at least $2,000, knowing that nationals are going to cost us at least $138,000 this year. So that's why we're asking that from all of you. Now, I want you guys to know the form that you received the night of the parent meeting, the sponsorship form, is still valid. If there's a corporate sponsor that doesn't need all the extras, we are still honoring any of those sponsorships. We've received a bunch already, but obviously we will always honor that sponsorship form that we put out that first night of the parent meeting. And also there is an incentive if they have at least $1,000 in by July 20th, they'll be receiving a 64-ounce white Stanley to be able to take to the games. Now, last year it was kind of a teal color. The girls loved them, used them every single practice game. So we decided to do that again, hoping that it's something that they're actually going to use. and it's not a waste of money. So anyway, any girl who has their sponsorship and funds in for that sponsor by July 20th to me, if they're using the old form, or through Corbin on the website by July 20th, you'll be put on the list for the incentive. So any questions for any of that?
So I think, Corbin, you cleared it up by saying the stewardship. I remember that. Yeah, with football, that's they call it the stewardship, that each kid either fundraises to bring in, or, I mean, it all goes to the booster anyways, but yeah, I understand what you're getting at.
Yeah, and then that's kind of what we're doing. The same thing here is a stewardship for each girl, to try and bring in something other than what we as the parents have to pay. And so that's really what we're trying to do. And what we're doing here is just increasing the value of what we're offering, so that we can, attract potential sponsors and attract a little bit more money. Because just like Amy said, what it does is it lowers the amount that we as parents are owe, because that goes into this lump budget that says, hey, we have to be at 140,000 for the year, and we raised 160,000 in corporate sponsorships. We're sitting pretty, and that's where, of course, that's where the Booster Club comes in, but the board to identify all that. But our goal is just to really have the girls participate in getting the word out and having their parents, not just their parents' businesses. We want businesses that want to be involved in the schools and can see the value of what these girls can do. I mean, these girls are marketing. They're marketing geniuses. I mean, if you look at the girls' social media posts and fun stuff like that, this is where the marketing strategies go. And so I think we have an untapped market here for both cheer and pom. In this case here, the pom would be another group that would do really well with this. But I think the girls can do really well with offering these types of solutions to some of the companies in the area.
So I'll just say that, like, just literally this weekend, I was talking about the fees, and there's got to be a way that we can get them down, because as everybody knows, they're really high for cheer. And I was literally just telling my wife, like, hey, you get your hair done at Habit or wherever. Like, there's no way they wouldn't want to sponsor a cheerleading program. Like, that's like a perfect spot for them. So there's some really good, I think, opportunities with select businesses that would be specific for young women and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, and here's kind of what we're going to be doing. The live stream is an untapped market, and nobody's ever tapped to in the state. We had our live stream, and it cost us a ton to run those things, and we couldn't get people to. We didn't even ask for sponsorship, but just in conversations with companies that said, hey, if we put an ad out there, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to find a restaurant, and we're going to say, okay, restaurant A, we're going to actually live stream the game. We're going to ask you to live stream the game in your restaurant, and when you do that, we're going to mention you online, because the AV team at Highland is going to be running it now, which is going to be really cool. We're going to say we're going to mention your restaurant name, and we're going to drive traffic to the game, so that those parents that don't go to the game, or those family members that can't go to the game, they can go to this restaurant, get some really good food, and watch the game there. And then part of the percentages of the proceeds that we get from this game are going to come back to the program. So it's like a win-win situation for everybody, and they're all wanting to do this. And every single restaurant that I've talked to, they're like, we're in, absolutely, we're in. We'd love to have that. And it's something that nobody's doing. And the nice thing about having having my daughter on the team, we can use all the resources that I have access to make it be really beneficial. Because again, I hate to say it, but I'm also benefiting from it because my fees go down. Make sense? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out, I have Amy send out on band. I'll have my email. It's Corbin So CORBAN at boosterclubnetwork.com. Let me see if I can pull this back up here so you can see that. Okay, so it's Corbin. There you are. Where'd you go? There you are. Corbin at boosterclubnetwork.com. That's my email. What I'll do is I will get the script, send it to Amy. Amy will put that out on the band or however she wants to send that out. And then what we'll do is we'll create the reel. But really, the most important thing is part of this program, the most critical thing is that number one, you follow Booster Club Net on Instagram. Okay, that's where we're going to do most of our marketing. And then when you see a Booster Club post, okay, so let me see if I'll show you. Let's do this. I'm going to show you way over here. Okay, so let's go here, Booster Club Net. Come on, there you go. Okay, these are the posts that we're going to be doing. Like this right here is we're actually having products and stuff that are associated with some of these things. And when they go out, if you notice, there's a lot of action on a lot of these things. Okay, there's likes, comments, there's partners, all sorts of stuff. When you see this logo, we'd ask you to do the same thing where you like it, you comment, you share it, you repost, you do all sorts of fun stuff with that. Okay, that's what we ask you to just be actively involved in it. And it's not just liking it, it's commenting, it's reposting, it's tagging somebody else on that post. Because that's really where this stuff is going to grow. Like this Caldwell barbecue, it's got a huge following. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to do an event where we do a tailgate at one of the games. And we're going to sell tickets for it. And it's going to be, and they're going to be providing the food. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of really cool things that we're going to do with this. Okay. But we just need you to be active. We need you to respond. And to when you see this Booster Club logo, the Booster Club Network logo, you're responding. You're doing all sorts of really cool stuff with it. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay, well, we're going to let you guys go. I know that we had give you at least 15 minutes earlier. I know some of these meetings go real long, so we'll hopefully let you go for the rest of the night. But if any questions, any thoughts, by all means, if you have companies you think, hey, I want to reach out, but I don't know what to say, I'll reach out to them. So just let me know, and we'll get them to sponsor. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time. And we look forward to an awesome season. This is going to be fun. Thanks, everybody.